I discovered an old journal among Granddad's attic treasures. From what I can gather, it's a blog-like chronicle of some distant relative, but it feels almost too strange to be real. I'm hoping you guys can help me make sense of it. Maybe it's just some fiction he wrote out of boredom. After all, farm life couldn't have been that exciting, right? I've managed to transcribe some legible parts below. June 12th. Another storm tonight, a real bad one. Lightning struck a few times last year, so I'll have to check for damage tomorrow. Today was good though, productive. Rosa's about to calf soon, growing bigger each day. The hub's been talking about visiting Sara's grave again. I don't know if the boys or I will have time, so she might have to go alone. I wouldn't tell her, but I miss Sara almost too much. It's better I stay home. June 13th. Someone was out in that storm last night. Albert found him in the morning while letting the cows out to graze. He heard a commotion from the pasture and discovered a man soaked to the bone, naked as the day he was born. For a moment, I thought we had a dead man on our hands. But he started to murmur. I had Albert and Fen bring him inside while I finished the chores. The man's still out cold. We dressed him and set him by the fire. He's feverish, but Alva's a good girl. She's taking care of him. I'm surprised he's alive after a night in the rain. I'm not hopeful he'll survive the chills. June 15th. He finally woke up. He's been mumbling deliriously since we found him, not knowing where he was. But this morning, while Alva sat by him, he opened his eyes, sat up, and asked for water. He has no memory of who he is or how he ended up in our pasture. I'll have to make an early trip to town, ask around. Someone must be missing him. He's a striking man, strong jaw, nearly white blonde hair tall. He also has a scar on his back, not a whipping scar. It looks like someone tried to skin him. It's recently healed. In the meantime, we'll help him get healthy and see if he can handle farm work. June 24th. We've taken to calling our guests Stefan. He seems amused by the name and likes it, so Stefan it is. Still no memory, but he's strong enough to walk around and help. Alva fancies him and practically lives to show him around. I can't say I dislike him either. He's quiet, never speaks harshly. Now that he's better, I'll see if he can help with the cows in the morning. June 26th. The cows don't like Stefan. The minute he steps into the barn, they panic, causing a ruckus and kicking anyone nearby. I had to make him leave to avoid upsetting Rosa and endangering her calf. The goats don't mind him, though the nanny, usually ornery, butts Stefan every time he enters the pen. That's his job now, taking one less chore off me and the boys. June 27th. Alva had a nightmare last night. In it, Rosa lost her calf, and when Alva got close, the calf exploded into a sack of maggots that crawled over Rosa and ate her alive. Alva's still shaken. Stefan took over her chores for the day. He's a good man. We're planning to make a run into town on Monday. I'll take Stefan with me to see if anybody recognizes him. It'll be a darn shame when he goes though. The bruises on my backside are finally fading since I don't have that damn billy goat charging at me every time I go in there. July 3rd. No one recognized Stefan. I'm disappointed but also a little relieved. It means he can stay around longer. We don't mind an extra mouth to feed, especially since he's willing to work. He sleeps in my room now just so no tongues wag about him sleeping too close to Alva. I won't have anyone slandering my girl's name. Stefan doesn't mind the bedroll. As he sleeps, his hair, still white as the day he appeared, looks like a halo around his head. Sometimes his face twists in his sleep, as if he doesn't like what he's seeing. Maybe he's seeing pieces of who he used to be, but still can't piece together who he is. Poor man, I can't imagine not knowing who you are. July 4th. I had a dream last night. Rosa gave birth to her calf, dead like in Alva's dream. But instead of turning into maggots, Stefan walked up to it. His mouth twisted into a grin so disturbing it made me break into a cold sweat. He knelt by the calf and lifted it by its head before biting its throat. Worms crawled from the wound as Stefan chewed on the soft flesh, his teeth sharp as knives. He got up and walked toward me. I couldn't run. I couldn't move a muscle. Stefan kissed me, his breath tasting of bitter rot. I felt the worms squirming into my mouth and down my throat. I still couldn't move. I began to choke on Stefan's tongue and the worms. When I woke, I was chewing on my blanket. Stefan was already up, getting dressed for chores. He asked if I was all right. I lied and said I just had a strange dream. My mouth still tastes like worms. July 6th. No more nightmares, none I can remember, at least, but I think I'm sleepwalking. When I wake in the morning, my feet are covered in mud, and I have scratches on my legs like I've been walking through thorns. It feels like I've walked for miles. My thighs ache. Stefan's been a good help, though. At night, he massages my back to soothe the pain. He talks about his own dreams and what little he remembers. I don't listen to all of it. The man has good hands. Stefan apparently had brothers once upon a time, lots of them. He wasn't a farmhand, but he can't say what he used to do. Not sure if he can or if he won't. Sven and Stefan had an argument. I don't know what it was about, but Sven seems to have gotten ideas about Alva. I don't know where the hell that idea came from. Sven's like his mother, stubborn. Once his mind latches onto an idea, it doesn't let go. If Stefan wanted to marry Alva, though, I'd give them my blessing if that's what they both wanted. He's been taking good care of her. ... July 7th. The calf was born dead, all right, and Rosa died too. Something must have gone wrong. The calf got stuck, causing the bleeding. Alva found their bodies, the calf still hanging out of Rosa halfway, both lying in a pool of blood. The stench is so bad I think it'll stick to the walls forever. We're trying to salvage what we can by butchering them. I'm starting to think Stefan used to be a butcher. He carves meat professionally. If he ever wants to leave, I might see if I can get him started in town as a butcher. I hate that I lost the cow, but it ain't Stefan's fault, no matter what Sven thinks. I think Sven's been paying a little too much attention in church. Devils don't walk among men. The Son of the Lord made sure of that. They have no power over us. July 15th. I can't let my children know what happened this afternoon. They'd never look at me the same again. Stefan and I were out repairing the fence when he asked if we could go for a walk farther from the house so we could be alone. The look in his eyes hinted at a kind of alone that I should have refused, but I didn't. Stefan and I sinned together under the apple tree. I loved Sara, I did, but she never made me feel like Stefan does. It was bliss, like my wedding night all over again. I kissed his hands and praised his name, and I only feel guilty because of the risk of getting caught. It's our secret. Stefan will live here, just a man with no home and nowhere to go, and we'll keep on making love like husband and wife, and no one has to know. July 21st. Sven and Stefan had another fight. At first, I found it funny that Sven was still stuck on the idea that Stefan wanted to marry Alva, but it turned into shouting and hot anger. Albert tried to get in between them to calm them down, but then Alva fainted, her skirts soaked with blood. I took her to her room and yelled for Sven to run for the doctor. I undressed her to see if she was injured, and that's when I saw it, a dead thing, curled between her thighs. As far as I can tell, she birthed it. I hid the thing's body by the time the doctor came. He diagnosed it as one of those monthly things. I have to talk to Alva tomorrow when she awakens, July 22nd. Alva confessed to me witchcraft. But when she admitted where she learned it, my blood ran cold. Stefan gave her the tools to talk to the devil himself, to sell her soul and gain his power. I didn't believe her. I called her a liar and said she'd burn in hell for tarnishing a good man's name. She burst into tears and told me everything. Stefan told her she had a gift, a power that could be unlocked. At first, she resisted the idea of calling on the devil, but he told her how much she could gain, as if he was a witch too. She told me he wasn't a man either. I have to talk to Stefan tomorrow. I don't know how I'm going to do it, But I will, July 24th. It's storming again. I still haven't talked to Stefan. I've let him sleep in my bed and kiss my body, but I can't ask him why he turned my daughter to witchcraft. I'm afraid of his answer. Alva's strength has returned and doubled. I've seen more calves, black ones. I had to put down my journal. I thought it was hailing, but it's not. It's raining toads. Toads and blood. July 28th. I had to find out what he was. To have his very presence kill calves and turn God's loving girls into witches. He says he's fallen from grace, and in the end, it's gone. The writing here is illegible, the page stained with bloody water. August 17th, we buried Sven today. I told the town there was an accident, that the cow kicked him in the head and killed him instantly. I wish I could say it was Stefan. Stefan's missing, and it still rains toads at night. Alva's gone too. She left last night. Albert's still here, and he's all I have left. God have mercy on him, please. August 18th. Stefan came back last night. He says he wants to stay, but he knows I won't let him. We both know now that his presence brings hatred and death. Although he might not bear ill will to the family who took him in, he cannot stop his curse. I kissed him through the window before I told him if he didn't get off my property, I'd shoot him in the head. He laughed at that. We both know who'd win. I'm so sorry, Sven. I should have listened to you. All my animals are dead, except that damn billy goat. Sven is dead. My daughters ran into the forest to dance with the witches and marry the devil. All I have left in this world is Albert. Tomorrow, we're packing up what little we have left and getting out of here, so Stefan won't be able to find us. I don't know if I can turn him away again. I'm not strong enough.